Hello, welcome back to Tarot Time with Andy. Thank you for being here. This is my vibrational reading. Please do your own research for entertainment purposes. I'd like to cover on how the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell are feeling. How strong do they feel with this court case? This is my double major deck, so each card has a reversal, so if it comes out improperly, I will flip it. So just so you know, that is what this deck is for, all upright. So here we go. How do the victims feel? How do the victims feel? How do the victims feel? How strong do they feel with the case? How do the victims feel? How do the victims feel? Very first one is Page of Wands in reverse. So I would say with the Page of Wands in reverse, they're feeling like they had that whole disloyalty affect their life, and they're in a rebellious mood right now. They're concerned about it being any rash decisions probably being made. So I think they want it to go, obviously, they want it to go in their favor with the news, hitting the news. And so right now they're kind of at a low energy, probably concerned, worried. So not, their confidence, they're keeping their confidence in check, I would say. They're not, they're afraid that things aren't going to go as well as they'd like. And so they're just kind of laying low, I would say. They're not feeling super feisty, staying calm, staying real calm. The energy's low. So they're kind of keeping their energy in check, I would say, keeping their energy in check. And I will pull the rest. Here we go. Okay, so the hidden energy here, the hidden energy is the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is the scholarly kid appearing scholarly. They want to be seen as scholarly, and they want to be seen as obedient and, dedicated. So that is the hidden energy, is they were sort of dedicated and hardworking when they were under his control. And so that's something that they want to kind of hide. They were obedient. They were obedient. So I suppose that's part of the hidden energy here, is they don't want people to not realize just how obedient they actually became and how they were learning a lot. So maybe they don't want everyone to know everything, quite possibly, but that is a scholarly kid. So they're kind of hiding that scholarly aspect. I'd say that it was a teaching lesson. It was a teaching. So they were being taught. Don't understand why it would be hidden energy, but I can pull a card on that. The focus is the Knight of Pentacles, and that would be that they kind of did chase after them. The focus was they were captured, in essence. They were wooed by the Knight of Pentacles, made to trust. It was that trustworthy, and so that's how they kind of got caught up in the situation, is they felt that they could trust the situation that they got caught up in. And they became students, in essence, students of the Knight of Pentacles, which would have been Maxwell and Epstein. This card here is the Devil in reverse. So they're exploring their dark thoughts. In the past, they were exploring their dark thoughts and getting trapped in this situation with the devil energy. So in the past, they were caught up with the devil, caught up with Maxwell. She was like a devil, female version. And there is Jeffrey Epstein, and there is Maxwell right there. So that is definitely entanglement, chained, bondage, lies, everything dark, willing to do anything. So they were kind of in a position where they were willing to do anything at one point in time. I think it's that poverty. They were suffering from poverty, needing money, needing a job, needing money. So that's kind of something they don't really want to go to, because they were in a desperate position. That's why they were targeted. So it's a little bit embarrassing. I would say it's more of an embarrassment that they were in that position. But I think they will share it. However, it's just not something they want to really talk about a lot, is how impoverished they were, how desperate they were. So they were really in a desperate position, willing enough to get tangled up and chained up to this situation, which then led to them realizing that it was the wrong path very quickly, with the Fool in reverse, They fell off that cliff. And they realized they took the wrong step. That is not having self-belief, realizing it was the wrong path. It was the wrong path. They realized it very quickly, or once they were in it, they realized they got entangled here with the devil. And that is something that they should not have done. It was low vibe, and they were not enthusiastic or happy about it. And they were definitely students. They were students and being scholarly for her, for Maxwell and for Epstein. And then we have here for the seventh position, we have here is the justice in reverse. So the decision that they made is that it wasn't really fair. Nothing was fair, and they were blinded to the situation when they first came in. As you can see, she's got her blindfolds on, so not super aware of the situation. Just in a dark place, I would say, and they were willing to do it and keep the blindfolds on. I feel with this is they didn't want to see everything, so I think they put on some blinders. I need this money. I need to stay here because I need the money. So I'm going to put the blindfolds on, and I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that. I did not know. I did not see that. I did not see that. So really they were doing it against themselves. I'm feeling with this, that they didn't want to see everything. They knew it, but they didn't want to see it, and they wanted to deny it, is how I feel with this. And that was the decision that they made. In order to stay there, they had to pretend they could not see what they saw. You did not see what you saw, that did not happen, and deny, deny, deny. So they were in a denial position. And then the next position here is the Wheel of Fortune. And so that is in the eighth position, which is the pressures that were facing them, was the Wheel of Fortune. They knew that they had to complete a cycle. They knew that they needed to change. They knew they needed to change. They knew that they could not keep doing this. They kind of felt this was sort of destiny in some respects, and they were just going to go with it because it was going in their favor. It was going in their favor at one point in time, and that's why they put the blinders on. So this is sort of the grooming worked. I would say the grooming worked. I'm not trying to make them look bad, but the grooming really took effect because they were studious here. So that grooming really worked. Don't talk about what you see. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. You got to complete the cycle. You've got to be successful here. We want you to be. This is your destiny. They felt maybe trapped with this new cycle that they were in, and they didn't know how to break it because it's not a reversal of the Wheel of Fortune. It's upright, so they didn't know how to break the cycle. They were keeping the blindfolds on and could not break the cycle for a long time until they probably got to a breaking point. But many of them kept that blindfold on in order not to break the cycle, in order to keep making some money and to bring it home and live a little bit better with this devil energy, knowing full well it was the wrong path. So this is what the energy is saying. So it doesn't say much about the confidence, but this is what their thoughts are today. And then we have here the Emperor in reverse, which is someone who's extremely abusive, someone who is very inflexible dominator. This could be Maxwell herself. She was very inflexible dominator. She was totally in control. And this is the pressures that were facing them while they were there. She was always overlooking them, and she was very inflexible with her domination. So that full control took place with the grooming, and the outcome came, they were very unhappy, and they were not allowed to draw attention to it. They did not, with the sun in reverse, you do not want to draw attention to the situation, do not highlight the situation, and it's not seeding anything new. Sun upright is seeding and growing and nurturing and growth. They could not grow while they were in that environment. There was no growth. Everything became dark and bleak, and the growth was behind them. It was in the past, but they can see that it wasn't happening in the current situation because under his feet here, there's no growth. That growth is behind him. Everything is behind him. Happiness is behind him. Growth is behind him. And now he's miserable, standing there miserable, realizing it was the wrong path. Just like with the Fool's card here in reverse, it was the wrong thing to do. So, but they wore their blindfolders, the blindfold. They knew what they were doing was wrong, and they got trapped in the situation and by an inflexible dominator. So that's what they're feeling today. And then we have here the Queen of Wands in reverse. I would say that that is Maxwell, the Queen of Wands in reverse. You know, she is total domination. She was a bit melodramatic. She was very temperamental, and she was complete domination on the girls. And she definitely is no Queen of Wands. She is not the creator of the situation, but she was the follower. And then we have here the King of Pentacles in the upright in the center of the situation. And this would be because she was working for Epstein. And Epstein is the one who was holding the money bags. He's the one in charge. He was the master that they all had to answer to. He was the master. He was like almost kind of like, I kind of view it as sort of like being a mob boss in essence. He was like the mob boss, and she was the right-wing person. And so that's why she's not the Queen of Wands upright, because really it was not her. She's not the brains behind it. He was the brains behind it. She just kind of went along and did as she was told. She was not fully in control. She was just domination. He was in fully control, but she felt that she could be somewhat in control, but truly she was not. She was just an inflexible dominator in the situation, and once again, domination here. So she just got to be in that dominating position over the girls, and they had to keep their blindfolds on for the situation in order to get through it. I would say they probably mentally checked out often in order to get through it, in order to cope and keep the blindfold on. Is how they were able to do it, which is real common with people who have been sex trafficked and all that. So let's get some more cards. Let's get some of these. Boom. Here we go. We're here. Ah, the love call. Yeah, they would get the love call. Come on in. We got someone we want you to meet. Someone expressing love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. So I would say they got the call. They would get called to come in to work, because someone's interested in you. So they'd get the call, they would answer the call. And let's get this one. We got this, and big hope and water. So this here is about hope for the future. And so they were hoping for the future. That's why they stayed on. That's why they continued. It was just, this is an emotional hope for a better future card. And with the moon, it makes it very emotional. They're willing to keep lies and deception in order to keep that hope alive, because the moon there is about deception, and it is about, you know, fear. It is also an unplanned path and going to the dark side as well with the moon there. So there's that. And then we have this deck here. Let's get this. I'm going to put that back too fast. The girls. Expectations. Yeah, they had a lot of expectations on them, and their expectations was to answer the call when it came, and to, you know, this is your hope. This is what they would tell them. This is your emotional hope for your future, is to answer the call. Better answer the call. You better pick it up when we call you. And there would be a lot of despair when they would get the call. They would get a lot of despair because they knew they had to keep their blinders on, and they didn't really want to do it. At the bottom of the deck, we have false person. This would be Maxwell, someone who wore a social mask. There is a public person and a private person behind closed doors. She was basically a monster and a dominator, inflexible dominator, who thought she was an emperor in reverse. So, and yeah, they would have to answer the call. They would expect them to pick up. And this is your hope. You're emotional. You put your blinders on. It is a fear. It's an unplanned path, but it is what it is. And dealing with a false person would create this total emotional despair. In the center of it here, great fortune. They wanted to make money. They were there to bring home the bacon. They needed to make the money, and that's why they were chosen. That's why they were targeted. Definitely why they were targeted. Let's get some more about the being targeted. Let's pull a few more cards. Few more cards on how they were targeted. You know, it's easy to choose someone who's in need financially. That's a very easy target. So let's find out about being targeted. About the great fortunes and being targeted. The great fortunes being targeted, and the unplanned path, the emotional issues with it, wearing a blindfold. Let's get some more on the women, how they felt today. They felt they're in healing mode right now. They're no longer hurting, but it felt like a total betrayal, heartache, divide, sorrow, and they are healed. They are in a healing position. They are now healed from that situation. This court case with him being dead, Epstein being dead, and then now their opportunity with her feels like a healing opportunity for them. And then we have here the King of Wands in reverse, and that would be Epstein no longer being on the earth plane. King of Wands in reverse, he's no longer able to do what he did before. He's no longer in leadership. He's no longer in the spotlight. He's no longer a business person. He's no longer a CEO. He no longer has energy, period. But he did have a God complex, and he had dictator energy. And he's no longer there to hurt them. And then we got here, and the Wheel of Fortune. So they do feel that things are going to go into their favor. It's going to spin in their favor. And it will tower crash Maxwell. Maxwell will have a tower crashing, unwanted change happen in her life, is how that's reading. And then on the other side of the center of the deck, for this deck, I have the Moon. Her lies are going to be exposed. They're going to talk about her lies and deception, the ego, the unplanned path that they were led down, and how they were caught up in it, and how the ego was at play. They would play on their ego, make them feel good about themselves, work over their ego, and manipulation, emotional manipulation, and wanting loyalty. We have the dogs there, expecting full loyalty within the lies and to go along with the lies. You're not allowed to speak about the lies. You're not allowed to say what you saw, that you keep that blindfold on. And so they're going to talk about the blindfold, how they cannot talk about it publicly, keep the secrets. And, so with this Moon energy, it's very emotional. So they're going to get very emotional on the stand. There's going to be a lot of tears. And so this is, very fearful. The dream and the reality did not pan out. And they felt like they were conned and lied to with false hope. And there was a lot of doubt. And it's the dark side. The Moon is the dark side, and they're going to expose the dark side of Maxwell and her involvement. And they are figuring that there is going to go in their favor with a tower crashing moment on her. And then underneath this here, justice will come get her. And that will be, the truth will come out. The truth will come out, and cause and effect will take center stand here. So that's how I see that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Till next time, like and subscribe. Thanks for being here. Bye.